In this tutorial, we'll be guiding you step by step on how to sew a set-in sleeve. We'll be using a 1.5 centimeter or 5/8 of an inch seam allowance to sew our sleeve. When sewing a sleeve, the most important thing is to get the alignment correct. Patterns will usually mark the back of a sleeve and armhole with a double notch and the front with a single notch. Ensuring these match up correctly will set you up for success. To begin, add 2 lines of basting stitches to your sleeve cap. You'll use these basting stitches to ease the sleeve into the armhole. We do this as the sleeve head, the upper portion of the sleeve, is drafted slightly bigger than the armhole. This extra bit of space, also known as ease, allows the sleeve to drape nicely over the shoulder. In this case, we'll be adding the basting between the front and back sleeve notches. The stitches should be 0.6 centimeters or 1/4 of an inch from the raw edge and spaced 0.6 centimeters or 1/4 of an inch apart and have long threads pulled at the start and end. If you need a refresher on how to sew basting stitches, you can check out the tutorial linked below. After you have sewn the sleeve inseam, align it with the bodice side seam with right sides together. To ensure the seams line up correctly once sewn, check they match 1.5 centimeters or 5/8 of an inch down from the raw edge. Pin through the seam line, ensuring the pin pierces the stitch line on both the bodice and sleeve seam. Next, pin the single front notch of the bodice armhole with the corresponding notch on the sleeve. Repeat this with the double back notches. Add additional pins as needed between the seam and notches. Finally, we want to match the sleeve cap notch to the shoulder seam. Flip the bodice inside out so the right sides are together, and then secure with a pin. We will now move on to easing the sleeve into the armhole. With the sleeve facing up, gently pull the top 2 gathering threads to ease the sleeve until it lays flat in the armhole. You will only need the slightest bit of gathering, so gather gently and not too aggressive or you will have to try and remove these gathers. Add pins as needed, making sure any gathered material is evenly distributed across the sleeve head. Repeat on the second side. At the machine, ensure the sleeve is facing up and begin sewing at the side seam, 1.5 centimeters or 5/8 of an inch from the raw edge. Take it slow when sewing, removing pins and flattening out the fabric as you go. Backstitch at both the start and end of the seam. The amount of ease will depend on the style of sleeve you are sewing, but the end goal is always for the seam to be smooth and without puckers once sewn. Carefully check for any puckers or gathers. You can smooth these out using a combination of pressing and gently manipulating the fabric with your thumbnail. Finish the seam with a single overlock stitch or an alternate seam finish. If needed, you can find a tutorial on how to finish seams without an overlocker linked below. Grab your seam press or a rolled up piece of linen or cotton will serve the same purpose. Placing it underneath your sleeve, you want to press the seam allowance in towards the sleeve. This will give you a beautifully finished and pressed set-in sleeve. If you love sewing, we've got something to help you plan out your creations. Our awesome and awesomely free PDF sewing planner. Jot down your measurements, hack plans, and supplies for every project and add your fabric swatches and garment sketches. Use one of our 4 croquis models or sketch on the blank planner pages. It also includes a collection planner for organizing swatches and styling ideas for mini wardrobe collections and a 12-month sewing calendar. Get all your measurements sorted with our journal and step-by-step video tutorial, which walks you through how to take each measurement. Download your planner for free at madelabel.co/planner so you can get creative and plan out the wardrobe of your dreams.